What's going on, guys? So I wanted to do a video of like the top 10 newbie cards that you would see people play. And it's not necessarily that these cards are bad and if people played them they're bad, but kind of it is. It just kind of wanted to more make a video to show what people will usually play or not play when they're new to the game. They don't understand what's good and what's bad and what you probably shouldn't be playing. So let's get on with the video and see what things that people usually play when they're very, very new to the game. So this one I couldn't decide on a simple, specific card. So I decided to pick one altogether, and that card, or cards, is any normal beater ever. So I just have number 10 as beaters, because when they first get in the game, they're like, oh, this card has like 2,500 attack or 3,000 attack, and it's only got a 6 stars. So they draw to these cards because they don't know that there are much better things and archetypes to play, so they usually play beater type cards, and there's so many of them I couldn't pick a specific one. But yeah, number 10 is any beater ever, including, but not just cards that need to be tributed, just level 4s and stuff like that, normal monsters like Alexandrite Dragon, and stuff like that. So number 9 is a trap card that I know all of us probably played at one point or another back in the day if you played, and that is Gravity Bind. Now Gravity Bind is actually still a decent card, especially since with pendulums right now, but the only thing is the easy thing to get over Gravity Bind is you just have to Xyz, so now that Xyz are out, there's really no point to Gravity Bind. Not saying that it couldn't stop some decks, but you know, it's Gravity Bind, so come on, let's be real for a minute. But yeah, nobody plays this card for reasons, but I'm just saying back in the day, that's what people play. Number 8 is Acts of Despair. Now we all have played Acts of Despair, and that is for fact. Even if you're new, you have probably at some point played Acts of Despair when you were getting into this game. Because it's like, equip card, you get 1,000 attack, and once again, it's not that that's a bad thing or a bad card, it's just that gaining 1,000 attack is not a big deal in this game. So, 1,000 attack, yeah, it's cool and it's an equip card, but like it's not what you want to play in main decks, and new players always do that. Now, another option that I didn't list on here, but would also be Malevolent Nuzzler.
Today, Junior!
Gains 700 attack. Same idea, same thing. You always see new players play this, and in starter decks that new players usually buy, or has Acts of Despair, Malevolent Nuzzler, or some type of equip card in that nature. Now number 7, people might argue with, but I still like to bring this up. This card is banned, but new players play it because they don't know it's banned, and they're like, man, this card's good, and that's Pot of Greed. I know a lot of new players before, and now, I mean, it was different when I was younger and people were new, because now you can just look online and see what's banned and what's not banned, but still, new players, they don't know, will usually put a Pot of Greed in their deck until they find out it's banned.
Are you stupid or something?
Me and my friend, when we first started playing the game again, we played Pot of Greed, but not because we knew it was banned. We knew you couldn't play in tournaments, but we would do just like fun duels, and we would each have a rule of like we can each play a Pot of Greed just for something to do, just for fun. But yeah, people will play it even though it's banned when they're a new player. So, Now number 6, I don't even know if anybody would do this. So this is more like back in my time a new player would play it. But I have played people that have played this card in the past, and that is Injection Fairy Lily. I forget what the effect is exactly. You gain like your opponent's attack. I couldn't tell you what the card does because I don't know off the top of my head. But you like take 3,000 life points of damage or something, or something like that. I don't know. Or it gains 3,000 attack. It doesn't work like you think. And people, when I was younger, would play the card because they saw it used in the show. And they thought it was like a great card, and I mean it's not bad. It's a noob card. It's just a noob card, and we all know it, and we all feel it. You know what I mean? No. Number 5 is a card that, once again, that I'm gonna keep saying that all new players play. It's usually given in starter decks, and it's played because it has a high attack for its star ratio. And if you're new to the game and you don't really know effects, you're like, oh man, this level 4 has this high attack. Ooh, and that's Goblin Attack Force. Goblin Attack Force in itself really is not that bad of a card, but once again, in this state of the game, it's a bad card, and it goes into defense position after you attack. So yeah, back in the day, when there wasn't really archetype specifics that mattered, yeah, Goblin Attack Force was aight. But nowadays, not even close, not even remotely. But new players, they don't know, so Goblin Attack Force. Number 4, which is a very interesting choice, is because when you play Yu-Gi-Oh! And you're new, you're like, yeah, you don't want to be attacked, that's the point of trap cards. Well, Negate Attack, and negate the attack of one monster, and then then the rest ends the battle phase. Well, Negate Attack is not good for a variety amount of reasons. One, since it's a counter trap. which some people would argue that's bad or good, but whatever. But the real one is it has to target the monster. When you have Threatening Roar, compared to Negate Attack, Threatening Roar wins every time. You have to negate the attack specifically by targeting the monster. In this game, so many monsters cannot be targeted. So using Negate Attack is not a good option whatsoever. But when you're new, you're like, holy shit, this came in my starter deck? Why isn't everybody playing this? Well, there's reasons. Now, when you start playing, you want destruction. So people always turn to our third option, which is Lightning Vortex. And they're like, oh man, in this game right now, there's 2 Dark Holes and Raigeki available. Why aren't people playing Lightning Vortex? You can just keep destroying your opponent's field. Well, first, you have a cost. Lightning Vortex, I have seen people play a lot if they're new players. Back when I did play Dual Network, you'd see that, like, their number of how long they've played, and that could just be they made a new account, too. So that's not always that always tells the whole story. But you'll usually see the people playing a lot of these cards, and then they'll play Lightning Vortex like crazy. It's just not. No. Number 2. And this card is not a bad card, and it somewhat has a place, and sometimes I've seen people play it in meta decks. Not as of lately, but there's been decks before that can somewhat utilize it, and that's Swords of Revealing Light. Now, it's not a bad card, because it stops your opponent from attacking for 3 turns. The only thing is, it can get popped off the field, and then it has no use. But, I mean, that's every card in this game. But you see a lot of new players play it because it's also available in starter decks, it's easy to obtain, and it's like, oh, I can't be attacked for 3 turns? Well, once again, this gives me 3 turns to set up my play or do whatever, and everybody thinks that's amazing. Once again, this one is actually not that bad, but I put it number 2 is because I'd say this is the number 1 card you see people play, especially when I was younger, because people, Yugi in the show would play Swords of Revealing Light. There's that whole big episode when they were on the Duelist Kingdom thing that he played it. Or was it played against him? I think it was played against him. Anybody who ever watched the anime, let me know. I watched as a kid. I haven't watched the old Duelist Kingdom one in a while. Duelist City is my favorite of the anime. Anyways, so yeah, you'd see people play this when I was a kid, and once again, it's probably different now, but I feel like since it's still widely available, that you still see new players constantly play this because they think it is like earth-shattering and preventing them from being destroyed or OTK'd, whatever. Now, number 1, there was a lot of options I could have chose from, and I had some ideas of what to pick, but I picked this one because this is giving noobs players a little credit at the same time that it's not a lot of credit. So that card is Draining Shield. Once again, it's seen in the anime. It's also very commonly available in starter decks, structure decks, and just normal cards that you get in like reprint and stuff like that, retro packs, whatever. Now, it's not a terribly bad card. You target one monster, you negate its attack, and you gain its life points. I mean, you gain life points equal to the monster's attack. So you get attacked by a Blue Eyes, you negate its attack, you gain 3,000 life points. Why it's bad is because, 1, in this game, you usually don't want to be worried about one monster when you get attacked. I mean, yeah, sometimes, but like, that's not the big deal. Yeah, you get to gain its life points, and if it does work, and your opponent did have multiple monsters, you negate one of them, and then you gain life points, and then your opponent attacks you again directly, and then you lose those life points back, so you didn't really lose that damage. It's not a terribly bad card, and it's probably more of a more respectable newbie cards, but in the grand scheme of traps that we have available, it is a very newbie card, and you always see new players play this one specifically. I had a lot of other options on here that I could have picked, like Trap Hole. But Trap Hole, I've actually, once in a while you see people teching one just because it's not a terribly bad card to have, to use sometimes. But in a whole, I feel like Draining Shield is like the noob of the noob when it comes to cards. Because it's not bad, so you're still giving some newer players credit, but it's like there are better options tenfold that they're just not aware of yet, so they think it's good. It just shows it enough, and I almost like choked on my spit right there. So yeah, that's my top 10 noob cards that you usually see noob players play. So let me know down below what cards you think new or noob players play. Usually a specific card. Don't name a normal monster, like I said, because there's so many that new players usually play. Play more like an effect monster. Another one I was going to throw in here is Neo-Spacian and Grand Mole. You usually see new players play that some. And altogether, that card's not bad. But once again, the state of the game, eh. But yeah, let me know down below, and I'll see you later, guys. Peace.
Damn. Yeah.